Okay.
Yeah.
Let me send you the request now. So, guys, we are live. We are live. Welcome, guys. Happy weekend. Hope you guys are doing good. This is Casey Rias TV. You guys are welcome back. And with me, I have my brothers, Kimi Yaps and Awesome Sports.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah. I
Good
wanted
evening,
to ask.
everyone.
I wanted to ask how was your day, but I don't need to ask. I know all of us had a good day. Manchester
We're
United.
having a good day, man. United
They
fans are
made
looking
our
good.
day already.
Yes. It's a great day to be a Manchester United fan. 2-0. Also, what do you think about the game? What do you think about the game?
Well, in as much as it's not what I was expecting, you know, before going into that game, when I was on my live, I asked one question. I said, did you think Pep Guardiola actually got this tactically wrong? And the fact that I was seeing his lineup, I know something was wrong. A manager, you have someone like Itinerary that is more experienced. You are putting him on the bench, and you know that you've lost tons of players to injuries this season.
Yeah.
So when I saw the lineup, I asked that question, and he has been making those mistakes repeatedly. Then going into the first half, when Dalo and Shaw picked up a yellow card each in the first half, I started thinking what will be the end of this game. Maybe they won't end up picking up a red card or they will be weak. But no, look at the way Dogu was tracking back to Epshaw. Look at the way Ahmad was also tracking back
We have
to
that.
complement Dalo.
Yes,
You will see Casemiro, Mino, Fernandez. Even there was a time it was even Fernandez that was covering for Dalo.
Yeah.
So, and checking that Manchester City match, you see the way they set up. They were playing more of island. That is why our players keep on falling for that offside trap. But when God wanted to punish them, it was through a counter, 2 against 3. So there was no way they could hold it. Then the second goal also came, but I'm having an issue. That man's goal is not an offside.
Okay. Okay. I think we will actually take the 2-0. I mean, we had a couple of
Yeah,
chances today. I think about three. Is it two balls that hit the bar? Two balls, two disallowed goals.
yeah.
Kimi, what do you think about the game?
It was a great game. It was a great game. It was the kind of game that Manchester United typically are expected to win because if you ever plan to play football against this Manchester United side, you plan to attack Manchester United. We all know Manchester United for some years now have been a very good counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
So if you watch the game very well, even in the first half, Bruno Fernandes was hitting those raking passes to Umbremo to see if Umbremo can get in
Yeah.
behind. Is it Allison? I think that's his name, the centre back for Manchester City. But that guy was a little bit rapid, so he was holding his own in the first half. But in the second half, Manchester City got a little bit desperate. They tried to turn the game into a basketball match, and that was where they lost. You cannot attack Manchester United so brazenly. It's the game where normally these are the games that we do very well in. These are the games we do very well in. And I was impressed with Carrick's tactics for the match, right? Most people, when they saw the starting lineup, they said it was a 4-2-3-1. But when they were setting up, in a way, it almost resembled a flat 4-4-2, with Bruno Fernandes being a second striker to Umbremo for the most part of the game. If you watch, especially in the first half and the beginning part of the second half, Bruno Fernandes was almost playing like a second striker to Umbremo, and we kind of overloaded those two centre backs. Even before the game, I said it. I said Kujanov and Allison, these two defenders for
You're
them,
not
the two
loud,
centre backs for them, they are there to be gotten out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
but it's low on my end.
Okay,
What's happening?
It's low on your end. Okay.
is it? Oh, okay. Um, can you hear me now? Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Me, I can hear
yeah,
you
but
perfect.
it's still low. You can continue. I don't know what's wrong.
Okay. So, like as I was saying, the two centre backs today for Manchester City were there to be gotten at. We cannot see after today why they really needed to go to get McGahey.
Yeah,
Those two guys, I was asking a question. I was asking a friend a question today. I said, where were Manchester City when Manchester United bought Heaven for just £1 million? I mean, they spent heaven and earth to bring Kujanov to that team. And from what I'm seeing from that guy so far, he is not fit to lace the boots of Aiden Heaven. I'm not even going to lie, you know. Well, all in all, it was a great game. It was a great game. Good way to start the Carrick era. He brought the DNA to that is the new word now. That's the new trending word for Manchester United. He brought the DNA, and the DNA actually helped us to get the win. Menu was not bad today. Menu was very good. I'm still going to say it again. I don't know what Diogo Dalot is doing in a Manchester United jersey in 2026. That guy, my it's good. It's easy to play to say you play well when your team is winning a match, right? But if you actually come down to watch Diogo Dalot, the foul aside, I'm not even talking about the foul. Diogo Dalot got a lot of passes wrong. A lot of our attacks down the right wing were breaking down because of Dalot specifically. I think if Mazraoui comes back into this team, he's going to have a field day,
I can't
especially
wait.
now that he's
I can't
being
wait
played.
for him to be back. I can't wait for him to be
I
back.
am
But
telling
Kimi,
you, Mazraoui
I
is
will,
going to
I
have,
will, I will have problem with
yeah,
Mazarawi. If Mazarawi comes back and starts performing
It's
poorly,
an
you saw
injury.
Mazarawi at AFCON. I will tell them to help me hold him in the streets of Manchester and help me beat him up.
He must not get injured though. He must not get injured. You understand? Like, see, this is what winning does to you. See the way all of us are smiling and happy. You know, this is what winning gets to you. Maybe this is the real DNA. That this is the real DNA that have been going up and down.
No, no,
See,
no. This is a therapy.
okay, therapy. Okay, we have not gotten there yet. But
Yeah.
like Kimi said, I when I saw the lineup, Dogu starting, Cunha on the bench, Meno and Casemiro in the midfield. A lot of I was like, Mano and Casemiro. That we know how that pairing is. You understand? But probably that's why I say we are not coaches. The coach saw something in the training. He wanted to probably he knew what he wanted to do, and you see, it works. It worked today. Menu was okay. Renu was very, very decent today. Casemiro, of course, man of the match. Dogu, I don't want to talk about Dogu. To me, Dogu was my own man of the match. I don't want to talk. Dogu, Dogu was fantastic on that left wing. We know that Cunha is not a winger, so it's actually very, very important to see Dogu on that place, and also coming back to help Shaw at the defense. And then Kimi, you did a video earlier. I watched one of your video where you were saying something about what what Scholes and Bot said. Haaland was taking
yeah.
Martinez and Maguire played so well. Haaland was taking off.
Haaland was bullied. He was bullied today. It's rare to see someone bully Haaland to the point where Haaland could not exert himself physically in a match. Haaland was bullied. Martinez was like a bulldog. You know how bulldogs are? They are small, but they are strong. He
Yeah,
was just all over Haaland today.
I think he watched.
And I feel like those comments pushed Martinez a
Yeah,
little bit.
yes,
I think he
yes, yeah.
kind
I
of
think he
set
watched
lit a
that,
fire
and
under him.
Kimi, there are some players that whenever you talk down on them, they won't give you a reply. They will do the talking on the pitch of play.
yes,
Ronaldo, Osimhen, Martinez, they will never give you a response. They will go into that match and prove you wrong, and you won't
I
have
agree.
anything to say.
I agree. I agree.
But
So
Martinez already said it. He said he can take the criticism. He doesn't mind the criticism coming from Scholes and Butts, right? He said the only people he worries about are his wife and children that have to hear those kinds of words. That was
yeah,
what he said in his interview. He said he only has to worry about his wife and children hearing those kind of things. But him as a footballer, he knows what he's doing. He can take it.
yeah. So guys on TikTok, if If you want, I can highlight your comments, but I can't do it on TikTok. So if you can jump to YouTube and comment so that I can highlight your comments. Like today, our topic today is about United, the rebuild, manager, players, the are we on the right path? That's what we are asking. And of course, I told you guys, Kimi and Awesome are grounded, well grounded in this very topic. So before we talk about managers, about players, about ownership, we need to agree on one thing. What does rebuild mean at Manchester United? So also let me start with you. Are we really rebuilding at Manchester United?
We are not rebuilding, to be honest. I think Ineos came in to sold us dreams. Casey, are you recording this? Because
Yeah,
I'll be requesting for the clips later. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think they came in to sold us dreams, promises upon promises without actions. And I think Glazers selling some stake at Manchester United to Ineos. They know what they did. I will start by this. There is a certain law in UK, ownership of club. Once you attain 30% stake in a club, you have the right to push and facilitate the club being sold. Also, you have the right to buy more stakes as at that rate that you bought the current one that you bought. You
wow.
will understand where Glazers played the game. Glazers played a game in the sense that they made sure they never sold up to 30% for Ineos, because the same game they played to take over the ownership of Manchester United, they don't want that game to come back to them. In 2003, Malcolm bought 2.9% through his vehicle company. You understand? Then they later came back in March 2005 when they started the whole thing. I think they bought 27 points, maybe 27 or 28 point something from these people, Magnus and Mania. That was when the whole this thing started. Then by June 2005, they already have 65%. Towards the end of 2005, they had 98%. And when you have 98%, the best thing you could do is to persuade the remaining 2% to sell. Why are these remaining 2%? The remaining 2% are club fans as at that time. That
Yeah,
was how they took over that 100%. We can't say we are rebuilding, and then you sold 27 point something percent to Ineos. They took over the footballing operation of the company. One, the only tangible thing I will tell you that they've done since they came in was just that currency refurbish. If you are claiming we are rebuilding, go to City. When they take over City in 2008, 210 million pounds. Up to 2025, they've invested 1.6 billion into City. They invested 200 million pounds into their academy, 300 million pounds into the renovation and infrastructural development at the Etihad Stadium. Let's take away the history. Let's take away the values. Let's take away the memories, the culture, everything Old Trafford holds. You cannot compare Old Trafford to Etihad. Standard.
yeah,
No. You understand?
yeah.
So let me allow Kimi talk. Let me just pause there for a while.
So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. The Ineos came in sort of a dream, but we've not been seeing the reality of that dream. So, Kimi, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. There's what is going on in Manchester United? Is it a rebuild or a reset? You understand what I mean? I think because from my
Yeah.
own understanding, rebuilding takes time. Reset is you stop, you start again. So is United, is the Ineos Glazer? Are they just Are they do they want to rebuild or they just want to reset?
They are just looking for a quick buck. Rebuilding, resetting. These are high words in their vocabulary. These are very, very big words. You
These
understand?
are words they used
You know,
to hook us the fans.
we are using these are very intelligent and high words. I don't think these men are interested in any of those things you're talking about, right? They only mention rebuild, reset, whatever when they are talking to fans. The fans they think are very gullible. The fans they think are quite dull that want to believe their lies and their stories. Um, Manchester United, from what I can see, is a club, is a sinking ship, and what everybody is doing now is bailing out water. It's unfortunate that I'm having to say this immediately after we won two
Yeah,
zero,
yeah,
right?
I agree.
Immediately after we beat Manchester City. But
Yeah,
you cannot paper over the cracks with a 2-0 win. We all know that we all expected a new manager bounce when this interim coach came in. We expected it under Fletcher, but maybe because of the lack of solidity of his role at the club, the players did not give him what he wanted. They didn't perform to the degree that he would have liked, right? But now there seems to be a certain level of permanence with Carrick. You are going to stay, this is your manager until June, right? So the players now are having to play to prove that they are not the problem. It was, if you notice, there has been a push over the last few weeks to pin all the problems of this season and everything on Amorim.
Mario, yeah,
So every player now is trying to push to make it look like they are not the
yeah,
problem. So obviously we expected a bump in performances. Usually when a new manager comes, there are bumps in performances. If we want to talk about a proper planning, Ineos came out and told us that 2028, they are going to be competing for the champion for the Premier League, right?
yeah.
2028 is a year and a half away. Do we really feel like we are closer to 2000 and to competing for the Premier League in 2028? Right? This squad can barely qualify for the Champions League. We are barely good enough to qualify for the Champions League, if we want to be totally honest. If we want to look at our squad depth and we want to look at the quality in different positions. Right? And when we are talking about a rebuild, what I'm going to refer to what Ragnick said when he was at the club. Ragnick said a rebuild doesn't have to take 3 seasons. It doesn't have to take the time that people think a rebuild will take. It doesn't really have to take that time. It just needs a proper planning. It just needs proper planning. It needs someone with a vision and the will to carry through that vision. Um, First of all, the Glazers, I feel they don't have a vision for this club. They just have a vision for the money, right? They don't have a plan for the club. They don't have a plan for the sporting project. And Ineos gave them an out. Even Ineos gave them a leg to stand on because there was a lot of pressure for them to leave the club. And Ineos gave them a way out, an opportunity to continue staying at this club and benefiting from the club without giving anything back. And that is where it is almost unforgivable, from what Ineos have done so far. Because look at it, in the 2 years they've come in, they said they are giving us best in class. I'm quoting these are the buzzwords that they were very comfortable allowing journalists use. I mean, the
Yeah.
journalists that are connected to Manchester United, the likes of Lockhurst and Ornstein, uh, what was that, Simon Stone and the rest of them,
Lauren,
right?
Lauren,
Best in class. Laurie Whitwell, yes, Laurie Whitwell too. You hear names, you hear words like best in class, this, best in class, that. They brought in Omar Berada. Omar Berada was not a CEO, but we decided to trust Ineos because they were just coming in. He has never been a CEO. We decided to trust them because they were just coming in. That is not looking good so far. They decided to go extra mile to bring in a director of football from Newcastle, spending a lot of money going through litigations to bring that guy in. I don't care what happened when he came to the club. You should have had, if your HR in a company is hiring and firing staff the way Ineos are hiring and firing people, you will call that HR and you have a serious word with that person. If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken, if I'm correct, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
brought in Ashworth, you let him go in less than a year. You gave Ten Hag a 3-year contract. People seem to forget that Ten Hag signed a 3-year extension on his contract before he was fired. 3 years. You fired him in less than 4 months. You brought Amorim, sold him a pipe dream, telling him he's about to rebuild the club, rebuild the structure, rebuild whatever it is you want to rebuild. You fired him in 14 months, right? You have a sporting director going around calling himself a coach, wearing a coaching uniform, standing on the pitch side. That is blowing my mind. I have not seen a sporting director worth his salt put on a coaching uniform, standing with the coaches in training. That blows my mind. So
Yes,
if
yes,
Ineos are talking about, yeah,
and
if Ineos,
just 1 minute, Kimi.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
it will bring us to the next point. Like this, is your point, very wonderful point. This is your point. You will continue. This is your point. Bring us to the next point because next point is managers which have power. You understand? Like you are saying, if identity is unclear and becomes even more confusing, managers don't have power at Manchester United. Just like you are saying, just exactly just like you are saying, a sporting director going about calling himself coach at heart, wearing coach uniform. I wanted to put it off screen, but we started, later next stream. We'll try to come maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes early and set up and do one or two before we go
Yeah.
live. So, you know, like I'm saying, a sporting director calling himself a coach at heart, coming to training, wearing coach uniform, pointing at you, watching you, will be pointing at the field. You understand? That's also part of the problem we have. You can continue. You understand?
Yes, yes. And if you're talking about a rebuild, if you're talking about a rebuild, I don't really mind having a manager without power rather. I don't mind it. If I'm
That's
being
another
totally
angle,
honest
guys.
with you,
That's another angle.
then yes, let me just be truthful with you. I don't mind it, right? If you have a situation like Sevilla, when Monchi was at Sevilla, right? Monchi ran that club. Monchi ran that club. He picked the coaches. He understood the formation the coaches wanted to play, so it would help him with the recruitment, right?
Yeah.
But where we are having a problem with Manchester United is this: you are having a coach actively interfering with the tactics of you're having a sporting director interfering with the tactics of the manager without proper conversation, or seemingly without any seemingly proper consultation with that coach about what he's supposed to do on the pitch. Imagine Manchester United manager being requested to switch to a back four in the middle of the season. That shows that shows a lack of synergy between the sporting director and the coach,
Yeah.
right? I don't mind you bringing in someone like Carrick now. For example, I like the situation with Carrick. He understands what he's getting into. He signed up for it,
Yes.
right? You have a conversation with Carrick and you're telling him, look, this is the plan for the squad. This is what I'm giving you. This is what you have to work with. This is what you're going to do. All right. And this is the long-term plan that I have for the club. You're going to do this. The man understands his job and is coming in. But if you're telling me you're bringing in a sporting director and you're having a conversation with a coach, selling him a pipe dream about powers, right? Veto powers, powers in transfers, and then halfway through, it seems like you're pulling the rug under that manager. That is where I have issues. Because the situation with this director of football at PSG, what's that his name now? I'm forgetting his name. The
The
Portuguese lad,
the
Portuguese man,
Arab,
Luis. No, he's Portuguese. He's Portuguese. The sporting
yeah,
director of PSG
his name too. Um,
is Luis something. I think Luis Campos. Yes, Luis Campos.
Campus.
Right? Lu- yes, Luis Campos at PSG. If you notice, PSG's performances went up under Luis Campos. He changed their recruitment policy, but that recruitment policy was changed only through proper consultation with Luis Enrique to understand what Luis Enrique is trying to build and also to tailor what he's doing to what Luis Enrique is trying to build. It's all about synergy. And that is where I question the what you said earlier about rebuild and reset, right?
yeah.
If you are having a rebuild, they had already started the rebuild with Amorim. They had already started the rebuild with Amorim. Remember, most of the players that left last season were the wingers. If
Yes.
you're going to play a
Yes.
system where you need wingers, you don't sell all your wingers. The
Now,
rebuild had already started.
now we have to go and get our wingers and get wingers because I'm hearing, if you check Yamande, Samenyo, now we have to go and get wingers. We sold our wingers
Yes,
because of
yes,
Amorim, because of the new system we wanted to play. Now we have switched back
exactly.
and get wingers.
Cunha Cunha, for all want to say, Cunha is not a left winger.
Yeah.
Cunha is not a left winger. In as much as he can play there, Cunha is not a natural left winger. It's not a surprise that we're going for Semenyo. Now, a lot of the things, I think I was discussing with Awesome some days ago, and I said, the more time passes by, the more I begin to understand a lot of the final press conferences made by Amorim begins to make a lot of sense,
Yes.
right? The more time passes by, because news is coming out now that he was contacted after the Grimsby match to switch to a four at the back, which he replied, Wilcox. I think that was I've forgotten the journalist that reported that. Is it Whitwell? I think it might be Whitwell. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. Whitwell or Lockhurst, I'm not really sure. Right? Said he had a consultation with Wilcox, and Amorim told him, if you want us to switch to a 4-2-3-1 formation, you need to buy me wingers. I don't have natural wingers at this club. If you look at Manchester United today, we are overloaded in right. We literally play two right wingers today. Mbemo is not a striker. Mbemo is a natural right winger. He can do a job at a striker, but he's not a natural striker. He's a right winger. In short, Mbemo is a right winger that likes to hog the line,
Yes.
right? That is his natural play. Ahmad is the one that usually likes to cut inside and shoot. If
Yes.
you watch Mbemo at Brentford, he likes to hog the line, get crosses in. Mbemo has a very good ball, has a very good leg for crosses, right? He has a very good right leg, right foot for crosses. Now, if you're having this conversation with a serious coach, he has told you he doesn't have a problem switching his formation, but he needs players for that formation because you're telling him you sold all the wingers. Now you're telling him you need a formation that uses at least two wingers per match, and he has two right wingers, no left winger. Cunha is a second striker, so to speak,
Yeah.
fitting the formation that Amorim was playing before. So you now begin to ask, what were they thinking when they started the so-called rebuild with Amorim? What was the plan? What was the conversations when they started the rebuild? Why switch the plan halfway through the season? And then why sack the manager at the end of the season?
It's not even end of the season.
At the middle of the at the beginning of the January transfer window, sorry.
If they sack
Why
Amorim,
sack that manager?
if they sack Amorim end of the season, most of us won't. No, we won't raise the cost. Yes.
I wouldn't have cared because honestly, I wasn't really a fan of Amorim, if I'm going to be totally.
Yes. Yes. You weren't. Oh, the network.
Oh, it's network.
Yeah, you weren't. You weren't a fan. You weren't a fan. Also, before Kimi comes up, Kimi said something about. He said he doesn't mind if managers don't have rig power, as long as there is a cohesion between the manager and the sporting director, and they are working hand to hand. They understand each
Yeah,
other, and
yeah,
that is another point of looking at it, because that was not what I was thinking. I was thinking about give the manager power, let him work. But if you look at it in another way, if there's a cohesion, it can actually work. You understand?
yeah.
The sporting director understand the team, understand the vision of the head coach. If they, do you agree with that? Do Manchester United need to have like do we give managers absolute power, or we just allow them be? What do you think?
Two things. One thing I would say, the fact that Ten Hag came to Manchester United and makes up the whole thing, the whole autonomy that was given to him, doesn't mean the next manager that is coming in will do the same. And I think for a club to progress, when you are given a manager some kind of spaces to do whatever he wants to do, don't forget, there's always an agreement. Work by your agreements. That is one thing the manager will see as a fuel that the manager will keep believing in you.
Yeah,
Arteta doesn't have that power when he first landed at Arsenal.
yeah,
But what happened? He talks to the board, works hand in hand with the sporting director, the managing director at Arsenal, because they have a managing director. They don't have a CEO. They work hand in hand. What do you want? Okay, I want this player out. Bring this player in. That is how it's supposed to be. Now, Manchester United hierarchies, they now felt like, okay, what is happening? You want to do this? Fine. Ten Hag came, he messed up everything. Does that mean when Ruben Amorim comes, he's going to do the same thing? No. We, those boards that are trying to do this and trying to make it like the same coach will repeat the same thing, doesn't make sense. You understand? And if a manager is coming in and they assured him that they are going to back him up, but he's not going to be in charge of the transfer, I believe there should be a cordial relationship with them. Remember Sir Alex Ferguson, when Martin Edwards was the CEO from I think 1980 to 2003, they were working hand in hand. Before Peter Kenyon came in, spent 3 years, and the sweetest of them was Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill.
Yeah.
From that 2003 to 2013, you could see how smooth it was. He, he was the chief executive that time. I feel like if not that Gill left for UEFA when Sir Alex left, this problem won't be in this. And the thing the board doesn't want to do, bringing in another permanent manager in the summer, they'll be made to do it. Because what? Amorim make sure he did something. He exposed them before he leaves.
Yeah.
And tell me, how many top managers will be willing to risk their CVs, to risk their reputations, to destroy their future, hoping they want to take up Manchester United this thing?
I
And
agree with
I'll
you.
tell you,
I agree with
I'll
you.
tell you for a fact, Ruben Amorim will not come out until the next 2 years to grant an interview. One or two, he asked trustees. Yes, because of NDA. You know now, because of
Yes.
NDA,
Uh,
non-disclosure agreement. So, and he has people that he talks to that he will have confided in them. Like this is what happens. And one way or the other, these things will start leaking. Remember, before they brought Ruben Amorim to us, that summer that Ten Hag won the FA Cup, Ten Hag was supposed to be sacked. The reason why they couldn't sack Ten Hag was that they contacted Thomas Tuchel, they contacted Roberto Di Zerbi, they they presented this thing to him, the project. Both of them said no, they are not willing to opt in for this kind of projects. That was the reason why Ten Hag wasn't fired as at that time. Then moving on, they decided to take over transfers from Ten Hag when Ineos came in. When Ineos came in, it wasn't really Ten Hag that was handling this thing again. But Ten Hag still has a role to play because that man needs to be brought. They need to pass judgment on him because he's actually a fraud, to be very honest. Yeah, you could see when he left Bayer Leverkusen. Look at what they published. Most of the players he brought to Manchester United were actually under his group.
yeah, from his agency.
Tell me why we wanted to buy Anthony. Anthony was around 35 to 40 million and it skyrocketed to 90 million plus.
But
Onana
that
was
wasn't Ten
meant to be
Hag's fault.
Ten
That
Hag
wasn't Ten
as
Hag's fault.
Ten Hag has influence. You see, the damage Ten Hag did at Man U, we can if we start listing it, we can't finish it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
same thing,
They had a lot of damage. Like
the
it, like
same thing for Andre Onana. They were willing to dispose Andre Onana for 15 million. Tell me how we ended up buying Andre Onana 55 million. So according to
Now, I
what
think
he said,
I think also you are pointing out a bigger issue of incompetence in negotiation, right? Manchester United have been known for almost a decade now. We have been known as a
yeah,
joke in the transfer window. We don't really negotiate for players.
ah, give me network, chai chai chai.
okay,
So
okay. Uh-huh.
as I was saying, as I was saying. So giving the manager power is not really a problem. But when you give the manager, if you're telling a coach, you be the head coach, will be in charge of the transfers. We are going to list out three several talents in each position. Then we will both sit down and decide for the one that suits the club the most. It's fine. But if
Yeah.
you are doing this, make sure you go by the agreement. You see, what is what is killing Manchester United right now is the you see ego, ego from Jason Wickers and the veto power from the board has actually cost us a lot. And
Yeah.
I think they need to realize that Wickers for this club to move forward, even if they are still going to retain that power that any anyone that is coming in to head the club is coming as head coach. Wickers needs to go because you could see Wickers as that person is the disruptor.
Yeah, we'll still talk about Wikos. We'll still talk
All
about
right,
Wikos.
all right.
About Wikos. You know, managers, sporting directors, they don't operate in isolation. If I know you guys will agree with me on that. So
Yeah,
whatever principle, whether philosophy this 3-4-3, 4-4-2, the players needs to key in. Kimi said Kimi said something. He said we should not get overly excited about this Man City win. It might be that
exactly.
they are trying to prove a point that we are not the problem. Probably that is why they played because they played out. They played out. They were Mino was pursuing every ball. We know everybody played very well doing their job. So
Ugarte was throwing passes today, KC.
yeah,
Ugarte was
I saw it.
throwing passes.
I saw it. So let's talk about the player power at play at Manchester United because that is also part of the something that has been like a constant in our journey of rebuild or reset or whatever grammar the board wants to say. It happened with Pogba, Lingard, it happened with Machal. Pogba had Pogba FC, Marshall FC. In fact, each manager we have gotten post Ferguson have always had an FC. And those players have led to the sack of the manager. You understand? But the funny thing is that when those players are sold and they go to other clubs, they start behaving well. Like they become good. Look at Ganacho. He has stopped tweeting. Look at Rashford. He's happy on the bench. Even Lingard when he went to West Ham, he calmed down. Look at Sancho when he went to Chelsea. He didn't do all those things at Chelsea. Even when Pogba went to Juventus, if he play one bad game, they'll put him on the bench. They only do that at Manchester United. So what is the problem? Is it an entitlement or a lack of accountability? Any of you can start. Kimi.
It's both. I think it's a case of both. It's both an entitlement and also they lack accountability, right? And when you feel entitled to play for a club like Manchester United, you begin to forget the fact that you are accountable to the fans, first of all, and you are accountable to the people that are signing your checks, which is the management and the board, right? Um, Again, we need to look at what Manchester United became after Sir Alex Ferguson left. Sir Alex Ferguson left a weaker team, given the standard of teams that he has been using to win the league. If I think you will agree with me with that, right? He left an aging Rio Ferdinand, he left an aging Patrice Evra, he left an aging squad. The younger players that were supposed to take over at the time were Chris Smalling, Johnny Evans, and co. Right? When everything that happened the way it did, there was a panic. There was a panic to get the club immediately back to winning titles, forgetting forgetting that Manchester United fans, the real Manchester United fans that know what's been going on, have been complaining about this since 2005, right? They even protested about it in 2010. where the Glazers are taking the club to. There was a panic to get the club back, and there was also simultaneously a push to turn Manchester United into an even bigger global brand. If you remember very well, between 2010 and 2016, Manchester United was everywhere. We were signing various endorsement deals,
Yeah.
signing various marketing deals with various businesses around the world. What this does, what this does is it puts more eyeballs on the players. It got to a point where players, imagine some players began to measure their popularity by Instagram
Yeah.
followers and Twitter followers. And this thing gets to this people said, we are in the social media age, right? Where you see a player at 2,000 followers, you come to Manchester United, overnight you are 260 something thousand followers, right? You're getting calls from bigger brands, you're getting calls from Adidas, you're getting calls from this. These are young players. It gets to the head, right? It gets to the head. And other serious clubs that are focused on the sporting side of things, they have systems in place to ground these players. And this is another, it goes to another question. This is not part of what you said, but I will also point it out. Why do Manchester United academy products that come out always end up with attitude problems? Majority of the Manchester United players that have come out post Fergie have attitude problems. I don't know if you've noticed that, Casey.
Mm.
I don't know if you've noticed. Januzaj, should we start? The ones that have actually made it at Old Trafford or made it elsewhere, they have attitude issues. Januzaj, Greenwood, Rashford to a certain extent, Menu currently because of the stunt he's pulling with his family, Garnacho. Who else? Who else again am I even supposed to go for? Who else am I? Lingard, Paul Pogba. The list is long, Casey. The list is long
Rashford.
because
He's mentioned
no, I
Rashford.
mentioned Rashford earlier. Yeah, I mentioned Rashford, right? The list is long, and this is because when these young boys come into the team, because of the so-called DNA, I know we are going to discuss that down the line, so I'm not even going to go into that now. Because of the so-called DNA, play the youth, play the youth, play the youth, play the youth. When these boys come into the team, they start playing well. They feel like they are better than what they are. And that is a similar symptom with most of the players at the team. Now, another thing you need to look at is this. When you, as a young player coming into the team, for example, Roy Keane used to say in his day, when an academy player is coming into the dressing room, you clean the boots of the first team players, right? You clean the boots of the first team player. You don't sit where the starters are sitting. You're an academy player coming into the team. You have to earn your spot. But now you see these young players coming to the dressing room. They have an MP3 on their shoulder. They have an MP3 on their shoulder. They are blasting music. You know, they want Lingard. Lingard was, I think Rooney said it. Lingard and Co were dancing in the dressing room, dancing and catching cruise
Sorry,
when he
sorry,
was on the
sorry,
pitch.
sorry to cut you. At Barcelona, when
Yeah,
Hansi Flick came, every match the Barcelona players used to wear designers, and come to training and come to match. They did it 1 month, 2 months. This man said, "What are you guys doing? A ball and they come play." He banned it. Those are some of the little things. You might say, does it matter? It matters. Those are
if
some
you
of the
remember,
culture. Those are some of the little things.
Casey, Rooney said when Depay came to Manchester United, he was driving a Lamborghini to training, right?
Yeah.
And very few players actually cautioned him. I think Rooney said he was the one that cautioned him about the Lamborghini and all that, right? That culture did not stop. When you see the club tilting more towards PR, tilting more towards marketing, you get players that when they come to the club, the culture of the club changes, right? We keep talking about DNA and DNA and DNA, but the culture of Manchester United in the club has been changing over the last 10 years. It's more like a popularity contest. You come to Manchester United. I don't think now, when they're even selling a project, they tell players, come to Manchester United and you're going to win the Premier League. Come to Manchester United, you're going to win the UCL.
No, no,
What they
no.
can tell you, you're going to earn the bag, you're going to get good money, you're going to get paid well, your Instagram followers are going to blow up, your Twitter is going to blow up, you're going to get exposed to more brands, right? These are part of the things that they sell. And if you remember, part of the reason Jude Bellingham's parents didn't come, they said the sporting side of things was not good enough at Manchester United. He was not going to grow. Now, this is another thing. When you look at the club signing players like this, you're not even going to. I don't even blame the youth too much. When you see people like Kobe Menu being in the academy, watching players like Paul Pogba, Lingard, and the rest of them dancing all their way on the pitch, you feel it's acceptable to do that also,
Yeah.
right? You see people like Pogba having public quarrels with Mourinho, having public issues with Mourinho, the squad being split up, fans siding with Mourinho. Literally, the Martial FC was crazy. You think Menu FC and Rashford FC is mad? Martial FC was insane. I remember when Mourinho was benching Martial and moving Martial to the left wing. The meltdown on X, then Twitter, was crazy, right? When you see things like this, you begin to ask questions. I think this is acceptable, right? If a child grows up in a house, I'm going to use this analogy. If a child grows up in a house where he's not allowed to wear slippers inside the parlor, right? If he wears his shoes from outside, when he's coming into the house, you have to take your shoes out. He is always going to take his shoes out. But if you have another child that grows up in a house where whenever you're coming from outside your house, you wear your shoes into the house, in short, you even use the same shoes you wore outside to stand on the couch, he's not going to see it as something wrong. Even when he goes to the house where it is unacceptable, it will take him some time to adapt. I don't know if you get my point
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's a culture thing. And when you see this senior player, and it has been happening for 10 years. Now, the players that were grounded under the so-called Fergie way, they've been long gone, right? I think David De Gea was the last player that won anything with Manchester United. And David De Gea has been out of this team for almost 2 years now. So literally, there's nobody in that club that even knows what it means to win anything for this club. So when the more time goes, the more the culture of we are big boys, Billy Big Bollocks, we've arrived is coming in. You start seeing things like this. Some people think they are bigger than the club. Somebody like Harry Amas now feels he is emboldened to respond to a manager's
yeah,
criticism via social media. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know if also has something to add.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's a cultural thing. Awesome. Do you think the culture can be changed? Like, do you think the culture can be changed?
Yeah, the culture can be changed, but one thing, let me start by saying this. The
Yeah.
fact that you are an academy product doesn't guarantees you a place in the first team.
Awesome. Also, if not TikTok, I say I for clap for you now.
No, let's be honest. Let's be
An
honest. To
academy
some
player,
extent,
Draw left Baka today. It's not
I
going
was
viral.
about yesterday,
Going viral.
yesterday, yesterday, I was about to talk about him. See, as if Flick was pained that guy terminated his contract and left. That is all about that. I think to some extent, Sir Alex Ferguson is a psychologist. You know why? Sir Alex Ferguson has a gift of sporting academy players that will create scenes, scenarios, and problems when they come to the first team.
Mm.
I'll tell you why. Paul Pogba, one of the reasons Fergie sold Paul Pogba was because of that thing. He he was able to picture that thing ahead, the ego and the habit surrounding him. That was one of the reasons he has to let him out of the team. And he said something. He said Pogba won't be able to play until he's been surrounded by certain players. That was the reason why you could see Pogba was playing well at UB, because he was surrounded with the likes of Pilo and the rest. When he came to Manchester United, it struggled. And we also the attitude and everything he was complaining about. Casey, one of the reasons why I felt this thing, this player power and everything will not be able to be gone in that club for a while is this. Check Real Madrid. Check Fiorentino Perez.
Mm.
You know what's the problem? Did you know what they have promised these people behind the scene? Do you feel like they don't know what is happening?
They know.
But since they are selling market for them, they won't want to discipline them and do the right thing the way they're supposed to do it.
Just like Kimi said.
Yeah, look at Lami Yamal. Look at the way they've been able to, though he's still bringing out those attitudes small, small, but to some extent, it's the image of the club right now. That guy, for the first time after Cristiano Ronaldo, for the first time in years, after Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, Lami Yamal was the first person to sell over 1.3 million jersey in a year. For the first time in almost over 15, 16, 17 years. But there's a way they are able to do these things. And I will say for a fact, I think the culture at Manchester United Academy right now, sir, those that are there are not competent. They need to check these people. But like I will say, it is avoidable, it can be corrected. But the question is, United boards, are they ready to pay for the sacrifice? Are they ready to take the steps? That is what we're supposed to be looking at. There's
Yeah,
nothing that is not correctable. There's nothing that is not amendable, and there's nothing that can be brought down to the minimal level. It just takes one person to serve as a scapegoat. When one person is being used as the yardstick, the rest will sit right. But the question is, are they ready to do it?
yeah. We will know that um, ownership sets the direction of the club. Ownership, they set the direction of the club. But the problem is that with Manchester United, they've not given us a clear direction in the footballing side. Probably, it was it. Somebody said something. Even the stadium that they said, have they heard anything about the stadium? They just showed us a very beautiful, very magnificent something. We've not heard anything about that stadium since that time. You understand? Now, you need competent hands at the table. So let's now talk about this man, this Jason Wickers, and the internal influences driving at this club. Because this man is, in fact, this man is the number one enemy of that number one culprit in that Manchester United side. Because like I did a video, I said, if you sack a coach, you should sack the sporting director. That was, I was looking at it from one angle. It might not always be true, but I was looking at it like, if I ask you, I need a striker, and you tell me you go and get me midfielder, I tell me say no, I must get a midfielder. I tell you I need a defender, I say no, or I take striker. When we get poor results, you will not shift yourself. I will not be blamed. You will not be telling me, I didn't get midfielder and I'll change your pattern, change your style of play. And when I refuse to change it, you will now sack me. You understand? You will not sack me. Is it proper? So let's talk about. I know I Kimi, you go. I stopped you before from going full on Wickers. Wickers should leave Manchester United. Do you agree with that?
100%. He should have already left, right? He should have already left, and not because they sacked Amorim. It's there's a clear lack of vision. There's a very, very clear lack of vision when it comes to hiring, firing, and signing of players, right? What was the plan? What was the plan for Ruben Amorim? If you're telling me now they have their leaks coming out that the club had a secret meeting, they want to sign a midfielder. How crazy is it that you sacked a manager for asking for players, and then you're now willing to back the interim manager less than a week after you, or let me not say less than a week after you sacked the manager? You are now talking about backing. That is if it is not spin, because most things with this club is just
Yes.
lies and manipulations,
This is the
right?
first time I'm here.
If
This
it
is
is
the first time
not
I'm
spin,
hearing secret talks.
Secret midfielder. Yes, a secret midfielder. A secret midfielder. We are not
Manchester
supposed to know
United.
who the midfielder is. It's
Manchester
a
United.
secret midfielder with Premier League experience, right? It's negligence. It's negligence, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The job of a sporting director, which he knows better than most people, is to be a bridge. You're supposed to link the board and the manager together, right? The board will be the one to tell you they don't want to sign this check, they don't want to sign that check. You, as a sporting director, you're supposed to convince this board to sign the checks, right? To bring in the player. You work with your recruitment analyst and your head of recruitment. As a sporting director, you're
Oh, Kimi.
Uh,
His network.
yeah, yeah, he will be back. But just continue. Maybe if you want to continue when he comes. Okay, he's here. Can you
Okay,
hear
he's
me?
here. Yeah, yeah,
hear me now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Continue,
yeah.
continue.
Okay, okay. Yeah. The job of a sporting director is to link the board and the manager together, right? And a situation where you are having to fall out with a manager to the point where you are sacking him midway through the season, almost basically writing off the season, still coming up together. It's there is a lot that is wrong with what Wilcox has done so far. The question now is, what was the plan at the beginning of the season? The communication that was given to us, the fans, was not one of a club that was aiming for Champions League positions. I don't know if
The other said, "Na clowns they run this club." I agree.
you've been following Manchester United.
Yeah, network. Network. So what is also what is Jason Wicker's role? Is it ideologically? Is it financial? Is it strategic? Because now we know his history, where he's coming from, Southampton and the rest.
I
Is
think
is he even up to Manchester United standard? Has he had success in his career that will give him the Manchester United job?
I think the main person in this that is playing the major role in this thing is Omar. I think Omar worked with him at Manchester City, so it was Omar that brought him. Blah blah blah. So let's look at this thing critically. I don't think with a club of this status, I don't think Jesse Wilcox should be in Manchester United. And I will tell you two things. I want you to go and fact check it. You see, Ineos did something because they are avoiding to spend. I don't know if your attention has been pointed to that. Omar Barada is majorly acting as the CEO and partially as the COO, and is also running the marketing side. The last time I checked, Omar Barada is a good marketer, is a business expert. But
I'm sorry, guys.
because
My network has forgive me. My
okay,
apologies.
because because Ineos are not willing to spend, then they designated two roles each to Omar Barada and Jesse Wilcox. I will explain. Do you know that Omar Barada, to some extent, acting as the CEO, as the CEO, then is also bringing and facilitating some major deals for them. Snapdragon, the Soul King, then the Coca-Cola on the global stage. Now, Jason Wilcox is acting as the head of, is it head of football or what do they call it? And also the technical director. I feel like Jason Wilcox, it would have been better for him to remain as the technical director, bring in a new sporting director. But because they are broke and they are willing to spend, they don't want to do that. Jason Wilcox is never someone that is capable of running. Manchester United. Sporting director, no, this guy needs to go. I've been saying it. When you sack Amorim, the next person that needs to go is Delson Wickers. Or even Delson Wickers needs to go before him. But
Yeah,
these are the things some certain Manchester United fans doesn't want to hear. Whenever you say it or you mention it, they feel like
because of
because you
Amorim.
are
Yeah,
yes, and I've
yeah,
stopped stressing
You know,
myself.
awesome. It's another indication that the club is not going in the right direction, right? Where you have situations where fans are not having conversations about what's best for the club. The conversations around fans is, I am an Amorim supporter. I'm a I am a Menu supporter. I'm a Wilcox supporter. I love what Jim Ratcliffe has done. And you now ask these people, are you an Amorim fan? Are you a Menu fan? Or are you a Manchester United fan, right? If we want to have a proper conversation about Manchester United, then you should start from the basic ground or the common ground that you're a Manchester United fan. I don't know much about Jason Wilcox, right? His personal life, I don't know anything about him, but what he's doing at this club currently, I am not a fan of it. It's incompetence. I'm not going to lie to you, it is incompetence. As a sporting director, you looked at this squad and you told us that this midfield is fit for purpose, right? For the season. Don't forget that Amorim is on record as far back as August demanding a central midfielder. He was demanding a central midfielder. He was ringing it. I need energetic. He was very specific about the criteria of midfielder that he wants, right? I need an energetic midfielder in the middle of the park. And if you want to really look at it from another angle, that is where Bruno Fernandes actually excels. And that is why Bruno Fernandes was even played in that deeper role. You cannot say Bruno Fernandes does not put himself about. You cannot tell me Bruno Fernandes does not put himself about on the pitch. Bruno Fernandes runs up, runs down. The only issue you can talk about Bruno Fernandes is he does not have that defensive discipline to stay in his position and understand the game defensively, right? But energy, Bruno Fernandes has that energy to go up, to go down on the pitch. And that is why that is where Menu rather has been lacking. If you even watch Menu's game today, Menu had a good game today, but if you watch Menu's game today, he was not running around. He was not the kind of player he is. So trying to force Ruben Amorim to play Menu in this particular system, Menu would have continued to struggle if Ruben Amorim had remained at the club. And this sporting director knows this. You know these things. What do you do as a sporting director? Your job is to help the manager achieve his goals and also to help the club get to their long-term goals. But what he was basically doing was to help Ineos save money. That was basically all he was doing. Help Ineos save money halfway through the season. The results were not good enough. And is it a surprise, Casey? I want to point out something now. Is it a surprise that after Manchester United were knocked out of one cup, another opportunity to make money from ticket sales in home matches, right? That was when the sporting director asked the coach to change formation to a four at the back. Maybe that is going to help. Haven't you looked at it from that angle?
yeah. It's
Because the
possible.
leaks about the four at the back started after Grimsby. The leaks about the four at the back started after Grimsby. The noise of go to four at the back, go to four at the back, get four at the back, get start four. It started after Grimsby, and it started from the
Yeah,
sporting director,
right.
right? Now you now find situations like this, and you now ask a question: manager is going to come to work under this sporting director and succeed. The sporting director is not working for the manager to succeed. He's not even working for the club to
Yeah,
succeed because if the manager is succeeding, the club is succeeding, right? If
Yeah.
the club are winning matches and they are currently qualifying for the Champions League, they are getting their 100 million annually, the club is succeeding. So, which manager is going to work for Wilcox with the way he has conducted himself this season, with the lack of honesty, lack of transparency, and this now goes to a longer conversation about Manchester United board and appointees not giving interviews to the fans. If you remember when Ineos came, the first few months after they came, they were giving interviews every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. Can you tell me when last you saw Sir Jim give an interview? The last time he gave an interview, was it not to tell us that Ruben Amorim is going to stay for 3 more years? That was the last time we heard anything from this board. And from the sporting director, there was no interview. Yet, the manager of the club has had almost 400 and something interviews in the space of 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm done with my submission.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. Wickos needs to go. Wickos needs to go. Um, he has not been good for Manchester United. Even he doesn't even have a good CV. That's just the thing. Employing incompetent people to come and coach a club as big as Manchester United. You know, because you gave a very good example. If Manchester United want to go the path of not employing managers, it's good. Because I never, your point was very, very valid. I never thought of it like that. If you say we no longer need managers, we want head coaches, very good. That means we need to have a very qualified sporting director, because the bulk of the job will now be on the sporting director. Now the coach will manage the field, the sporting director will manage every other thing, recruitment, every other thing. The coach will focus on the field. Now, for that to work also, there needs to be a cohesion, like you said. There needs to be a cohesion between the sporting director and the coach. That means you can't come and say you can't go and get an idealist coach, maybe Klopp or Tuchel or Amorim or Maresca, that play a certain kind of football, and you now tell them that Manchester United play 4-3-3. You now go and get a system coach or idealist coach. It won't work. It won't work. That means for it to really work, the club needs to say, okay, United DNA, United, whatever, we are playing this formation. You get a head coach that plays that formation. That will help with the cohesion. First of all, that means any player you are getting, you work with the coach. Not the coach already knows that this is what formation we are playing. The sporting director knows this is what we are playing. You work with the coach, with this one, and you make success for the club. You make success for the club. Not this sporting director that focus on only the business side of it. As long as we are making money, we are making money. Doing the marketing side, they don't even care about the football. When fans complain, they just dangle like children. They dangle something in our front. They dangle now because we are complaining. They're telling us a secret midfielder. They're just dangling it in our face. They're just dangling it in our face. After we'll forget about it. I'm sure this win today, even the secret midfielder, they might not sign him, because they will say, we just beat Man City now. There's no need to sign anybody. Let's just wait till summer. This team, I told you guys, this team can go a long way. That is the kind of board we have. That is the kind of board we have.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that nobody can even argue with what he just said now. It's actually unfortunate that nobody can say, no, Casey, this thing you're saying is not true. Let us believe in the board. They're actually competent. It has happened before. If you remember, it has happened before under Ten Hag, right? When we're pushing for Champions League football. They tied their hand back because they said this team is winning. It happened under Solskjaer too. I always wonder why this board has a penchant for giving up on seasons in January. Look at Man City. They are not playing too good. They are struggling a little bit. January, they need to push for the title. Boom, Semenyo. Boom, Gehi. Right? Even Arsenal that are topping the table now, when they asked the coach about signings, he said they are looking into getting more signings for him, right? But you come to Manchester United and the conversations are always summer. And I
If,
always tell people,
yeah, continue.
okay, I always tell people the conversation around the summer is greatly dependent on what happens now. Because if
Yes.
we don't qualify for Champions League, Baleba might come because he's desperate already. But Anderson is not going to come. And I want to ask this question. If you are Anderson, I've asked this question before. If you are Anderson, Man City are coming for you in the summer, especially after if you had a good World Cup, right? Anderson are coming for you in Liverpool are coming for you in the summer. Manchester City, Arsenal are coming for you. Man U are coming for you. Where are you going to go? Are you going to go to Manchester United? Probably they are not even in any European competition, right? And now they are complaining about money and they want to keep their wage structure, so they will not even pay you stupid
That
amount
would
of
have been
money for
that
you.
would have been because the wage would have been a reason to go. Say, let me go and make money.
Yes, it would have been a consolation to him to say, okay, I may not be playing Champions League football, but at least I'll be cashing out, right? Now you're not getting any of those things. You're not getting any of those perks. You're just coming to the club now, and now there's rumors of even the best player at the team leaving the team at the end of the summer, which is Bruno Fernandes. There are rumors of Bruno Fernandes wanting to leave. What is going to now encourage these players, right, to come to the club? You look at this other name, Adam Wharton. Same thing with Wharton. If I don't know, is it you or is it me? I don't know. I'm hearing I don't know if maybe somebody is playing something in the background.
It's
Is it
awesome.
you or is it for me?
Continue.
Okay. Now, if you have a situation where Watson now is being courted by maybe Bayern Munich, um, Man City, Liverpool, or even Real Madrid, because we've heard recently that the Real Madrid might be interested in Watson. Will you, as Adam Watson, make the career suicide decision to come to Manchester United, knowing fully well Ugarte was not a bad midfielder before he came to Manchester
Yeah, he
United? He
wasn't.
came,
He wasn't. He wasn't.
right? He was not the best in Europe, but he was not this bad. He was not a bad midfielder.
Yes.
Even in his first season
Exactly.
at the club, he played well. He came, boom, right? Cunha is doing as best as he can. He's having some few bad games. Everybody now is calling Cunha a fraud. Don't give him a game anymore. He's the worst signing since Alex Ferguson retired. Blah 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 blah. Who needs that crap? Which player is going to take that? And then you're hearing from the board, and the board are not sounding like people that are even interested in getting the club to move forward. What is the encouragement to get you as a player to Manchester United in the summer if there is no Champions League football? If there's Champions League football, it's easier for the coach now to sell his project and say, look, man, we've gotten Champions League football, we are trying to build something here. Come to us, we're going to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. But no Champions League football, all you have is noise. All you have is noise. All you have is next season, next season, next season, next season. A football player's career is very short. We all need to remember this. As footballers, their careers are very short. They don't have time to waste. I pity Bruno. Bruno has spent how many years here at Manchester United? Almost 6 years now, right? He has spent almost 6 years now. What does he have to show for it? A Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. That's all he
Bruno
has to show.
Bruno
Bruno
Fernandez.
Fernandes.
Wow.
Yes. A Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. That's what he has to show. He hasn't won any other thing. All the finals he has attended, all the finals he went to, he lost it. He has gone to 2 Europa League finals, lost 2 Europa League finals, right? And then you now have the situation now where the club is not even going to be in the. How many seasons has Bruno Fernandes played for Manchester United in the Champions League? A player of Bruno's pedigree and caliber.
Wow.
How many seasons has he played in the Champions League? You now find a situation where if you are a striker that is looking for goals in the Champions League, you want to get your name out there. Is Manchester United now your preferred choice? Is Manchester United your preferred choice? The only thing we have to say now is we are Manchester United, come to us. But even though we are Manchester United can only go so far.
Yes,
It
because the
can only go
standard
so
has
far.
fallen.
Yes. It can only go so far because what is Manchester United right now? What is the club right now? Let's not talk about what it was 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. What is the club right now?
Very,
Manchester
very.
United is a mid-table club masquerading as a Champions League club. Let me tell you why. How many seasons in the last 10 years has Manchester United played in the Champions League back to back? Back to back. You tell me you win, you qualify for the Champions League this season, next season you qualify again, the next season you qualify again. Let's just even say 2 seasons in a row When last did Manchester United qualify for the Champions League? 2 seasons in a row. And that was the football heritage rant that Mourinho went on when he was talking about the club. That's the football heritage, right? Now, look at the squad we have. Sesko has never played for in the Champions League for Manchester United. Obviously, he joined this year,
Yeah.
right? Ahmad has never been a first team player in the Champions League for Manchester United. When Manchester United playing the Champions League, he was either out on loan or he was a bench player, right?
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, we are counting Bruno now. Bruno has played in the Champions League for Manchester United very well, right?
Dalo.
I don't even think Casemiro has played in the Champions League for Manchester United. Has
Yes,
he?
yes,
Casemiro.
Yeah, he
yes,
He
should have.
has. Okay,
yeah.
okay, one season, right?
Yeah.
For one season.
Yeah. And
Okay, he
Dalo,
has had one.
Dalo must be there.
Dalot definitely has.
Sure,
Menu.
sure has
Menu.
played.
Shaw is an old papa now. Shaw has been here for almost a decade now. He would
Maguire.
definitely have played. Maguire would
I
have
don't
played.
think Mount has
Delete.
played. Has Mount played?
Mount hasn't played. Mount
Hasn't.
hasn't played in the Champions League for us. De Ligt hasn't played in the Champions League for us. So you now find out that you have a situation where almost half of the team has not experienced Champions League night at Old Trafford.
Institutional
You are
decline.
beginning to get this is not heritage. It is football heritage now. You now have a situation where the players of it is the fans of Manchester United that remember big European nights. I want to ask you again, Casey, what are the biggest European nights that Manchester United have had in the last 4 years? We beat Barcelona in the Europa League, Lyon in the Europa League. 4 years in the last 4 years. We beat
Okay.
Lyon, we beat Barcelona, both games in the Europa League. Both games in the Europa League. If you want to go back, you can now say, okay, we are going back to when Ronaldo was at Manchester United. That is his victory against his heroics against Villarreal, right? That is, you can now remember, okay, his victory against Villarreal, but that is just one match. The biggest games that Manchester United have played, the most memorable games as a club that we've played in Europe, have been in the Europa League. And people are telling me this Manchester United squad is a Champions League squad. I don't know if you're seeing it now, right? The standards are on the floor. The standards are on the floor, and you keep deceiving yourself. You keep pretending. You keep looking at pictures of Cantona on your wall, or you keep looking at pictures of Wayne Rooney.
Ronaldo.
If Wayne Rooney was to be active now, he would not come to Manchester United.
Confirm.
Think about it.
Wow.
If Wayne Rooney was to be a 16-year-old at Everton right now, he won't come to Manchester United. You know where he will go to? Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool. Those are the places he will go to because those are the big boys now. Manchester United, when you're talking about big boys now, they just start mentioning 21, right? 21, 21, 21, 21, 3 Champions Leagues. None of those have been in the last 10 years. The biggest trophy we have won in the last 12 to 13 years, let me just say in the last 13 years of life for as a Manchester United fan, the biggest trophy we've won is a Europa League. It's a Europa League. If you want to even talk about the Champions League, Manchester United has not played in the semi-final of a Champions League since Alex Ferguson left. And then people keep talking about Manchester United is a this, is a that, is a that. And I still ask those same people shouting Carrick needs to qualify for the Champions League because that seems to be the target set for him by Jason Wilcox. Was that the target at the beginning of the season? If it was the target at the beginning of the season, then my God, we have bigger problems than we even think we have. With that midfield, with that attack, without a left wing back, we went into this season expecting to qualify for the Champions League. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. I agree with you. The standard has fallen. Awesome. Do you have any comments on? Do you have any comments on that?
Casey, there is no more dignity and no more standards at this club. And like I used to tell some Mayu fans, even though they feel to like want to listen to the truth. The truth is we are only living by past glory. If you are saying as a club you are standing a standard or dignity, dignity in modern football goes beyond trophies.
Yeah, that's what
It
that
is
because I
a
wanted to ask, yes, because I wanted to ask, do we get
yeah.
the dignity back by having success? Let's say we win
It
trophies,
it
or
it goes
it goes
beyond
beyond
trophies. It goes beyond fame. It goes beyond money. It
that.
refers to the respect, integrity, fairness, and good behavior that is being showed by players, coaches, fans, and everyone that is
Not,
involved
it's
in
not
the
just
same
about
game.
success alone. It's just not about success alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you say?
I said so. It's not just about success alone.
It's not just about success.
Very
It
good.
goes beyond that. When we talk of standard, we are not in the same level with Real Madrid, with Manchester City. Do you know that there is a city in Real Madrid called Madrid City, whereby every player and all some of the coaching staffs has lounge rooms each. If they don't want to go home, they will sleep there. They have people that will attend to them.
Wow.
After this life, go and make a research about it. We don't even have an environment that can accommodate player coaches. Why do you feel like after several years, they just came back towards the beginning of the season to commission Carrington since 2005, 20 years later? Not even a total rebuild, just a £50 million refurbishment. How many times have you seen this player after training staying behind to chill and do this thing? Because the environment is not containing that. You understand? Then moving on. See, and dignity in football, it means playing the game with honesty and respect. Players are more um, encouraged to be fairly with each other and play a fair game. Then you see, dignity also applies to how clubs and managers behave. Look at the way Manchester United as a club. Look at the way we've been behaving. 13 years. It will be 13 years by the end of the season this year. Fergie left. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. Sacking coaches unfairly, disrespecting players, and putting profit above ethics can harm the image of football. What has happened? And what is happening currently? The profit that they put in, that they set their eyes on, has already harmed the image of this club. When are we going to be back? I don't know. Let's move on. A dignified club treats its player well, support its community, and promote positive values. Within the last 2 years, Ineos has come into Manchester United. What positive values have they put out there? What positive image have they put out to the public? Let's think about it. So, and fans also play a major role, like we are doing right now. Those are the dignities and standards of the game. And we need to understand something. You see, technology, social media, and the rest has really altered the dignity of this game. That is why you see Manchester United after the sack of Amorim, their their media person, journalists start rolling out damage controls upon damage controls. Up till now, up till now, trying to make us believe this person is the culprit. But we that know the truth, we can never fall into that what's it called? Into that channel. We know what the
Propaganda.
truth is. Yes. But you see all these things we are saying and discussing. If you tell Man U fans, especially those people that wants the coach to go, they will pick up a fight against you. But it's the truth. But me, I'm always saying it.
They will
I
fight you.
pray. Yeah,
Um,
I pray.
awesome,
Casey. Yeah,
awesome. To also contribute to what you're saying about dignity, where is the dignity in sacking half of your workforce close to Christmas?
exactly.
Casey,
Exactly.
we are all living in a world where finances are hard right now. The world is going through some economic issues, right? Where
Yeah.
is the dignity as a football club in sacking half of your workforce overnight? And do you know how many percent of the total revenue that the club saves? I think it was about 6 or 7%. You
Yeah.
can imagine the level of penny pinching.
You say
Now,
also
can you measure
where is the dignity? Manchester United
in
players they are taking train to play football. Like they were doing like normal citizens, taking bus to
There's
come.
no standard.
No, I'm even talking about on a human level, right? You are sacking half of your workforce. Now, we know when most people think about football, what they look at is the players, the coach, the coaching staff, right? But it goes beyond that. The person that opens the door at Carrington, you might not know his name, but he's a part of that club.
Yes, that's true.
The woman that serves lunch, the woman that serves lunch, right? The person that washes your jersey, the person that washes you sacked half of them. These people are friends. These people have bills. These people have bills to pay. These people are friends, are lifelong fans of the club. You sacked them to save how much? To save how much? Right? I think if you remove Casemiro's salary, it's enough to cover almost all the salary that they saved from sacking those people. Where's the dignity in that? And then we have a club that is very comfortable, like Awesome said, throwing coaches under the bus, making ex-employees look like crap, right? Same thing with players. Let's not talk about the treatment of players because the way Kobe Menu was treated was a disgrace. The way he was treated was a disgrace, bench or no bench, right? Benching him was a footballing decision. Everything that went around that benching was a disgrace.
Exactly.
And that's not just the club. That is also one thing I will point Amorim for. The way he handled the benching was not fair, was a disgrace, right? You also look at the way they handle other of their players and the way the ex-players talk about the current players of the club.
Just
It,
like yesterday, we were just saying yesterday, schools you're mocking your defender, not an ex-player. Oh. If even if I want to laugh at the player, now I can laugh at Sancho or Garnacho because I know he's no longer playing for me. You are mocking your defender. That see what we said about
a
Dalot,
few days before a big match.
big match. Even if
So
before the
they will
match,
not tell us,
all of us were praising Dalot. Dalot, please, I beg, try. You are mocking your defender.
there's a lot that is wrong, right? There's a lot that is wrong. And if a lot of these things are fixed, I personally believe it will bleed into the results.
Yes,
If a
yes,
lot of these things behind the scenes are fixed, it will bleed into the result. But people don't seem to understand that a lot of the times, things that happen behind the scenes actually have a larger impact than what happens on the training pitch. Because if you want to be honest, you want to, is it Bruno Fernandez you really want to tell about how to pass the ball? What do you really want to coach Bruno Fernandez to do anymore?
yeah,
The highest you can tell him is how to fit into a system. You're not going to coach Bruno Fernandez how to pass a ball,
yes,
right? You're not going to coach Bruno. You cannot, you can try your best. Amorim tried his best to teach Bruno Fernandez discipline, positional discipline. If that player doesn't have it at 28, 30, he's not going to get it,
yeah,
right? The best you can do for people like Casemiro, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Bruno Fernandez, these are the big names now in the team. The best you can do is how to build their morale up,
yes,
set standards in the team. They will in turn help you police the younger players in the squad.
yeah,
But in
yeah,
a situation where,
yeah, yeah. Go on,
yeah,
go on.
okay, in a situation where sometimes, let's be very honest here. I think Cristiano Ronaldo, when he came back to the club, said he met the lady, that the receptionist that has been there for almost 30 years,
Yeah.
right? She has passed away now. May her soul rest in peace. He
Katie,
went
I
back
think
and
it
met the
was
receptionist. It's here, Katie, yeah. He met her and he was so happy. He has a relationship with her. These people you sacked, they have relationships with these players. This, you cannot tell me you see these people every day, and even if you don't have a casual relationship with them, all these things affect workplace morale, right? And then you're now seeing a situation like where your manager is just sacked out of the blue. At least with Ten Hag, with Mourinho, with Van Gaal, you have situations where okay, the football wasn't good, the results were not good enough, there was no excuse. People were it was just time to leave, right? Amorim had not gotten close to that situation. Amorim had not gotten close to that point. He was sacked out of the blue, sacked, and then the next minute blame everywhere, blame, right? Like he
Kimi.
was the problem. He
Kimi.
was the problem. It sends a
Let, let,
message.
let me buttress on something. You see where the club has actually lost its dignity is that a coach was in the club, the journalist and the media team that comes to question him about interview, match conferences, pre-match conferences, post-match conferences, pre-match interview are always being selective with the questions they ask him. And I think the last time I checked, right, Manchester United has a media set. They have a media
Media.
department.
Yeah.
Don't this media department go through these questions before all they ask all these managers? That is number one. Number two, let's talk about the criticisms. The criticisms were coming. You were hearing it. You were seeing it. What is being done about it? And I think whenever the media is done with them answering whenever the manager is done with the media set, the media department, they go through it. It's like they don't have the IQ. This type of thing needs to be cut out. Like this type of questions and answers is not supposed to make the news. Do you get what I'm saying? Then
Yeah.
let's leave that. Let's talk about the criticisms that are coming from the likes of Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville. If the club still has a dignity, they would have protected the manager by setting their journalists against them and by tackling it. Now, the man is gone 2 weeks after. You are still doing damage control. And you still feel the club still has a dignity. That is Messi after God. That was long gone. But let's move on. Sorry I cut you short.
Yeah. See, I agree with all our discussion, everything we have been saying so far. Um, on point. Um, on TikTok, okay, UKG is saying hello, good people. UKG, my brother, thank you for joining in.
Good
Really,
evening, UKG.
United background. One love is joined in. Who again? Diola, Millibanks, Cruises. Thank you all for joining in. See, after everything we have discussed, all the compromises, all the breakdowns, recalls, who runs the club, player power, managers without this thing. See, the important question is this: what? How do we go from here? How do we rebuild? What does a real rebuild looks like? So, Kimi, I remember you said you have an engagement. So let's just this is the last segment. Let's just give what a real rebuild so that So, what does a real rebuild looks like?
Well, at this point, I don't even know. I don't know I have an answer to that question if I'm going to be totally honest, because we don't even know the next coach, right? Even though I have my suspicions, but I don't even know the next coach. I am personally suspecting that they are going to go for Southgate, of which
Please,
ah,
please, don't even
I was.
don't say it out loud, please. I don't want to sound getting that close. But please, before they hear you, no, see, you know, I don't want you to. I don't want. I'm not even going to do a video
You don't
about.
want it to be in the zeitgeist. You don't want it to be out
You
there.
know why? You know why? These our owners, they listen to the media. They listen to where the hype is going to.
Mm,
If the hype start going towards Southgate, I'm telling you, they will give Southgate that
they
job.
were appointing. Yeah.
If the hype, remember, like I was discussing with UKG in his live stream. He was saying something like when they sacked Amorim, do you know that the board wanted to give Ole that job?
Yes, they did.
But they noticed that
100%.
the hype wasn't going towards Ole. It was going towards Carrick. That is why Carrick is the coach. Forget all these things they're telling you about Champions League this, Champions League
Actually,
that.
the hype wasn't even going towards Carrick. Between Carrick and Ole, I think Carrick was more like the lesser of two evils. Um, Ole was being lambasted, he was being ridiculed, the club was being ridiculed because they were even considering hiring Ole, right, for the job. And Carrick was the more amenable of their options that they wanted to give. Also, I think you are on two different devices. Ehen. Okay. So I think that's why they kind of just pulled back. They were actually going to give Ole that job because he was the front runner. Nothing would have stopped it if not for the fact that the media and the fans were lambasting the club and their lack of ambition. Now back to your question, where do we go from here? Quite honestly, I think I can't see beyond Michael Carrick ending the season, and then I'm hearing names like Julian Nagelsmann if he's going to be interested, but I doubt if Julian Nagelsmann is going to come to Manchester United as a head coach, right?
Yeah,
I doubt if he's going to come as a head coach. I doubt if this club are going to be willing to back him to the extent that he will want to be back. So in a way, I think I can't look beyond this season. If I'm being honest, my prayer is that they don't basically give up on the season, because not signing a midfielder this January is them giving up on the season. Even though I said it as far back as November that these guys are going to use whatever excuse they want to use to avoid signing players. I don't know if you were on that live when I said it, Mr. Casey, where
yeah,
I said they are not going to sign anybody. You are going to hear all manner of excuses in December and January, right?
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
them not signing a midfielder in this squad for the rest of the season is them basically writing off the season because this midfield is not good enough. Casemiro has gotten to the stage where he's not able to play at the top of his game for 2 matches in a week,
yeah,
right? We are seeing it. We are seeing it now. Casemiro cannot play at the top of his game back to back anymore. He needs rest.
yeah,
Um, Ugarte, his confidence is short. I don't know if Michael Carrick, being a midfielder, is going to be able to build up Ugate's confidence. So I'm not going to look beyond this season, to be very honest with you. I'm not going to look beyond this season. I'm going to look at from now till June. Let's just try and get ourselves, even if I am not buying the noise of the Champions League qualification, because who are we better than that we're going to qualify for the Champions League? We're not better than Aston Villa, we're not better than Arsenal, we're not better than Man City, even though we beat Manchester City today. We are not more consistent than them, right?
yeah,
I would even argue that teams like, let me say, Chelsea, uh, uh, Liverpool now is picking up steam. I don't know if they drew against Burnley. Last I checked, they were drawing
One
nil
one,
nil.
1-1, 1-1.
1-1. The game ended 1-1.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We are
We are not
we
more
are 1 point
consistent.
behind Liverpool.
Okay. Now that's going to be another battle to qualify for that last Champions League position, because we're not going to be first, second,
So
or third,
I think
right?
I think if 3 Premier League teams make top 8, I think, or 4, it is
Okay, in
five
the in
spots.
the group,
they
in
must
the
make top eight,
in the
though.
UCL group stages, right?
Yeah.
So
So
no
to be
more,
honest,
no more narrative is
yeah,
saying, no more narrative is saying, just like you were saying, no more narrative is saying. He said, the game today was good, but how United play against lesser team. will determine if this is a good team. I think that's what the point you were trying to say. Against big teams, of course,
Exactly.
United. Yeah, I think that's the point you were trying to
We are,
make.
we are a counter-attacking team. So if you attack us, you can get beat. If you notice from minute one, we're trying to use the pace of Ahmad and Mbeumo to hit them on the counter, right? To a larger extent, if Bruno is not deep in the midfield, he was playing right beside Mbeumo. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Continue.
Okay, so we're trying to hit them. We're trying to hit them on the counter. So the teams that we're going to struggle against, people like Burnley,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Burnley, um,
Are we still playing
Burnley.
ball in this
Looking
season?
at
Okay.
okay, we played Burnley already. We've
No,
played
I
Burnley.
think
We
we
played
played
Have
Burnley twice. We beat them.
Fulham.
twice. Yeah, I think we played them
We
twice.
played Burnley twice. We played Burnley twice. We
Yeah,
played Wolves twice. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Teams like Everton, teams like Everton will meet Everton again. Those are teams that are going to sit back and expect us to play our football, and that's where traditionally Manchester United have struggled. United Squadron said it was cheaper to sack Amorim than to replace a squad of 23
I think you
players.
said something like
Um,
you said it earlier in the stream or something like that. You know.
Sarcasm.
yes, the thing is, right? The thing is, Amorim wasn't even sacked because of performances, and that's the part that does me in the most, right? I would understand most of the Amorim outers celebrating Amorim out if Amorim was sacked, if Amorim was sacked because the performances were not good enough. Amorim was simply sacked because of ego and because of a power tussle. He lost the power tussle,
Veto
right?
power.
That's why he was sacked. He
Yeah.
wasn't sacked because of performances. He wasn't sacked because of performances. He wasn't sacked because the players were not. No, if Amorim had kept his gob shot, I can bet you that he would have been managing against Manchester City today.
Yeah, I agree.
I can bet you that.
I
So the
agree.
way forward for me, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the plan is anymore. I don't know what the plan is, and I will need the board to actually have an interview to inform us, the fans, that okay, this is what we are planning to do going forward. Because all they've said through their journalist friends is that they want to finish in the
Nigeria
Champions
don't
League
miss
position,
PK.
and then they want to see where they go from there,
Um,
right? And then they
uh,
want to see where they go from.
um, we know the kind of board we have. They tend towards finances, towards money. And if you are looking for finances, you will see that what he said the main target is overall is to get into Champions League or any European football due to revenue from home tickets, home matches.
Yes, this is the season where Manchester United have played the fewest home matches in recent history,
And
right?
they're making
This is
losses financially.
yes, they are losing a lot. I think
And
they're getting between
there is one more thing.
5.5 or 6
I
million
think,
pounds per match.
Kimi, I think if
Yeah.
we did not make European football, I think Champions League, we are going to pay 10 million. I think there is going to be like 17 million in total. Sha.
Okay, to players
From
based on clauses in their contracts.
no. I think from Adidas or something. Well, if I see the this
Oh
thing,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yes, the
True,
Jesse.
true. And then the truth of the matter is, I will still say this again, even when they are trying to talk to the fans, or even when they are trying to set targets, they are still setting PR targets, right? Because I can bet you there is no way Wilcox believes that this squad is good enough to finish in the Champions League positions, right? The target that we understood from the beginning of the season was any European competition, probably Europa League. Every Manchester United fan, if you ask every Manchester United fan at the beginning of the season, where do you want to finish between now and where do you think you will finish between now and the end of the season? Everybody will tell you sixth or seventh, and then next season we build on that. That was the plan. So for him now, midway through the season, to start singing about qualification for the Champions League and yada, it seems like there is a disconnect, right? There's a lack of how do I even put it? There's a lack of synergy between what you've been saying now and what you are saying at the beginning of the season. Now saying Champions League qualification is, you can set a target and say, okay, now look, we are so close to Champions League football, we can't let it slide. I am going to back you with XYZ amount of players so we get
Yes.
the Champions League
Yes.
football. You can now switch the targets around. But
Yes.
to
Yes.
keep the squad as it is and start talking about revenue, so we need to get Champions League football is just like you did not read for an exam, right? You didn't read for an exam and you are expecting to pass the exam with flying colors. You should be happy that you even passed, got a C. You should be happy you got a C. You didn't read for the exam, you're expecting to pass the exam with flying colors. How does that happen? Okay, yeah. UKG said we earned 5.8 million pounds. Yeah, I know it was between 5.6 and 6 million pounds. Yeah,
So
5.8. That's
he said,
about right.
I said UKG saying what the board is doing is trying to aim for the sun and see where they land. They can land on the moon. They can land.
If you are aiming for the sun, right? Yeah, KC. If you're aiming for the sun, you have to get your rocket boosters on. You don't aim for the sun and jump on the trampoline.
Oh,
You know,
oh,
not signing anybody in January, not empowering this squad, not improving this squad in this
Ca-
January, looking for cheaper options
Casey,
to improve the squad to give that
the,
final.
the, the,
It's like jumping on a
the,
trampoline and expecting to reach the sun. You won't even land on the moon. You won't even get to your roof. You won't get
yes,
to your roof.
the,
yes, yes,
the
yes,
truth
yes,
is,
yes.
the truth is, we are not set for the rebuke that they claim that they wanted to do or whatever. We are not set for it. While rebuilding, a lot of things how to be in place. If you are talking about major rebuild, you have to overhaul the squad, not all this pash. This thing. It's just like Nigerian government, like a certain portion of road section is failed, and you know the best thing you need to do, that you need to dig it out, level it, and then lay it again. But no, you know what they will do? They will put all these things inside, all these broken blocks or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or granite. Then now pass it. Go and check that place in the next 1 month. You will see it going down again. The all will come back there. That is what Manchester United have been doing. And then we talk about structure supremacy. We've lacked structure for years. And all these people that they brought in, the Omar Borada and this thing, I think they are incompetent. I'm not saying anything from them, to be honest. Then rebuild, ruthless squad purging. It has not been happening. And you see, this is a point that Manchester United owners need to understand something. And I think the board, they need to go back to what Ragnick said, right? Go and listen to that man. If you have 250 million to spend for a season, brother, out of that 250 million, 100 million, use it to buy 20 million players. Kimi, believe me, these people will come and play their heart out. Then the remaining 150 million, sign two marquee signings from it. 70 million, 80 million. Let's go into the season with it. You will see how they will perform. But no, they are all about the marquee signings. That is all about because of Jet. You can quote me wrong. Out of these 20 million players, they are going to be five in number that you want to use these 100 million pounds to buy. You will see two out of those people that will end up as marquee signings, and you will generate tons of revenues from them to sell shirts. You begin to sell their merchandise and everything. But you see what they are doing is just them moving in the same line. And I've been saying it. Manchester United owners and Real Madrid owners, we are in the same WhatsApp group. You understand? Moving in the same circle. If Florentino Perez continues the way he's doing, Madrid will find themselves in Manchester United sharp in the next 2 seasons. Honestly. Now, after the last match loss, that it was this Division 6 dealt with them. He now said they and the Real Madrid hierarchies alongside Perez wants to go and speak with the players. When was talking to Simeone that Florentino Perez, it shows something. Honestly, it really shows something. But moving on, it is just four major things. I've mentioned two. Sorry. Then infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there. The stadium they said they want to build, you want to make people vacate from there. They valued their this thing around over or so. You said the value is 100 million. They've not been able to sort that 1 year down the lane. We are entering into the 2 year again. Then the cultural plane, that is the most the most important thing. The philosophy, even when the poor results are coming, you should be able to absorb it. And that thing is lacking. It is lacking, but I don't think they are ready. I feel like when the season ends, they should go back to the drawing board, put up a proper structure, find a new CEO, use Omar Bolada as a COO, find a new sporting director. If they are not relieving Jose Wilkins of his job, then put him as the technical director. That is the way to go. Because Jose Wilkins as a sporting this thing is not it at all. It's not it. But I don't think we are ready. It depends on whatever today. So it is what it
United
is.
United Quaground said one unspoken fact is that United are broke. Well hidden by the media, United are deep in debt and can't sign anyone on big fees without increasing loans from revolving funds. Okay, now the thing about this financial situation of Manchester United is not necessarily that they are broke per se, it's more of a cash problem, right? It's more of a cash problem. Like I think I was reading a particular article where they said the club does not have cash for certain transactions. It's not necessarily like they are broke, it's the cash. Now they can actually raise those funds by moving players on, and this is where a competent sporting director comes in, right? A competent sporting director that negotiates, that knows how to negotiate well for player sales. You cannot have a player like, for example, what happened with Garnacho. What happened with Garnacho should not be allowed to repeat itself. That is where a competent sporting director would have stepped in and told Ruben Amorim, guy, even if you want to sell Garnacho, right? You call Garnacho into a room, sit Garnacho down, tell him, look, you're going to leave this club this summer, but I want you to shut the hell up. We're going to get the best money for you. Even from Chelsea, we're going to get the best. We're going to get the best deal, right? You cannot tell the rest of the world that, look, man, we don't need Garnacho anymore, and expect
Yeah,
Garnacho to pay and expect other clubs to pay top dollar for Garnacho. Garnacho is a 60 million pound asset that we let go for 35 million pounds, right?
yeah,
Same thing with Rashford. Imagine Barcelona having conversations about signing Rashford for less than 30 million pounds. That's a disgrace. The negotiations about player sales need to be better. The negotiations about around player sales need to be much better. We don't have cash, yet you're letting go of assets for stupid money. Pardon my French, right?
yeah,
Probably we're going to have to move on Malasia very soon. In as much as you're freeing up wages, which is all well and good, it's always good to get cash flowing into the club. So even if you're able to sell, so let's imagine we want to sell Ugarte. I like the fact that Ugarte has not fallen out with anybody. It's just his performances. Ugarte can have maybe a streak of 4 weeks where he's playing very well towards the end of the season, and then you can say, okay, Ugarte is not really a bad player. He just doesn't fit the Premier League. Give us 50 million for Ugarte. You can negotiate down to 40 million and sell it. But knowing these guys, they are probably going to accept a 30 million pound offer for Ugarte or a 20 million, because I've been seeing some news linking Ugarte with a 35 million pound move away from the club. There is no reason why somebody like Joshua Zexi is worth only 30 million pounds, KC. You understand what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right? If you keep complaining about the club not having funds, then you as a sporting director you as the board need to be wiser about sales. You don't even need to let your manager have roughshod. You don't need to have your manager. He was actually United background. He wasn't quoted at 40 million. He was quoted at 30, a bit 32 million pounds earlier in January when the club was, I think Roma was sniffing around him, right? And I know this board, if you drop that money on the table, they are going to accept it. Same thing with Zexi. Same thing with Zexi. We need to be better with moving on players. I'm telling you the truth, we need to be better. Fine. Now, I want to tell
Him,
I think his network is
his
low.
network. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so Casey, I don't think. Well, but we see what happens at
can
the
you
end of the season. But
okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
can you guys hear me?
yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
yes, Kimi.
I'm actually hearing you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. As I was saying, right? Um, oh yes, we can definitely get 40 million for somebody like Ugarte. 40, 45 million easily. That guy is not as people may want us to think Ugarte is suddenly Eric Jemba Jemba. He's not that bad, right? We tend to undervalue our assets and then overprice assets that we are bringing into the club. And then we keep talking about we are broke, we are broke, we are broke, we are broke. That is just Glazonomics at play. It's just Glazonomics. It's just Glazers trying to tell everyone, oh, we don't have any money for this, we don't have any money for that, blah 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 blah. I'm a little bit fed up with that excuse, to be very honest, talking about money all the time, and yet you're not selling your assets for the price that you're supposed to sell them. When Ruben Amorim had that falling out with Rashford and Garnacho, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm online anymore. Hold on.
You're online. You're online. We can hear you.
The network is freezing. Casey,
Yeah.
there's one other thing I want to talk about. You see, the way Manchester United board have successfully partitioned some Manchester United fans' brain. They've reset it and partitioned some part of their brain, or maybe all of their brain, that every transfer you make in January is a panic buy. Is actually bothering. Then number two is they've actually also used their journalists and their media personnel to actually tell them that because of PSR. The last time I checked, PSR is applicable to all teams in the EPL. All teams. So whenever you talk, they feel like, oh, the board are not signing players because of panic buy and PSR. But whenever you bring out all these facts and all these conversations, they seem to attack you. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
United issues are unending.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, guys, let's not forget that. Also, when you said something about players getting 20 million players, like 4 or 5 to help the team, which I agree. I mean, like we all agree that the standard and the culture have dropped.
Exactly.
Manchester United is a mid-level club right now. So forget about 10 years ago. You know, we've said it in this stream. You forget about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. In the last 4 years, last 5 years, the spectacular thing we can think about in Europe is our Manchester United versus Lyon. That is very, very absurd for a club of Manchester United standard. So, our last wonderful wow moment in Europe is that 4-3 win over Lyon.
Over Lyon.
Over Lyon. You understand? So we are a mid-level club. So getting 20 million players, yes. But the problem is this: once Manchester United is involved, like UKG said, you will see a player
No,
that you know that this player.
no,
Wait,
no,
you
no,
wait,
no, Casey.
you see a player that you know that this player is 20 million.
No,
As you
no,
basically use
no,
Manchester United for the player, you hear the
no,
players now
no,
worth 5 million.
You know one thing. You know one thing I will. At least, even if they want to add the tax, it should not be more than 25. I think currently or recently, sef, they just changed the whole recruitment department, everyone that is there. All these things are not hard. There are talents in South America. There are talents in other part of Europe. See, when you bring in all these players and they feel like they are vying for the same position, when there is competition in the team for who to make starting 11 or not, you will see seriousness. You understand? But moving forward, if they are going to wait, look at the way Arsenal are making their signings for the past 3 or 4 seasons. If you are going to wait to make those market signings every time, bro, it is going to take us a longer time, a longer time, a longer time.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. See, the bottom line is that all these
Um,
non-negotiables, all this. You
if
want to say something?
yes, I wanted
You
to contribute to the conversation, right?
all right?
If um on the conversation of 20 million pound signings, Manchester United cannot be accused of not having a very good scouting department. We actually have one of the best scouting departments in the world.
Huh? His network.
Yeah,
Um,
his network is
I
bad.
think Kimi said he's going out.
Yeah. That's why I wanted just to round up. See, what I want to say is after all these non-negotiables, all these issues that we have raised there, you know, the truth of the matter is that if we really want to rebuild, we need to start getting serious about the club, right from the fans. In fact, we need to tell ourselves the truth. The fans need to be realistic. The fans need to be
Exactly.
realistic. Stop putting pressure on the team. A rebuild takes time. A rebuild takes time. We need to do. The owners need to make a lot of difficult decisions. Decisions like getting us a good manager. Stop listening to the media. Stop listening to the media. Signing players. You don't need to go for a world class. You can get good players. Try and build gradually. There's no way that Manchester United can come and say we are in next season we are winning Champions League or winning Premiership.
Exactly.
If you want to grow, we need to build it. We need to build momentum, grow gradually. You understand? We need to grow
And
gradually. And just like for example, the what I wanted to say to the fans, for example, today match, all of us are happy. I went online after the game. I was seeing a lot of Amorim is mad, Amorim is stupid, and Amorim is crazy. Look at this is what I'm talking about. Carrick is the man.
he's
See,
expected. He's expected.
let me say this here. Let me say this here. Let me say this here because I like to be realistic. Let me say this here. I like the way all of us are supporting Carrick right now. Let's keep that support. Oh. Not maybe you lose one match or lose two match. We'll now start. What kind of person is this? Is an idiot? Is this one? See, let's keep that support. Or the way you supported him today, keep it, mark it, and continue like that to support him. Because personally, I don't think today's game was down to formation or 4-4-3 or 3-4-3. It was down to the players wanting to play and want
Exactly.
to win. You understand? Dogu was passing ball today. Did you see that pass that Dogu passed ball to Ahmad for counter? Is it Amorim that tells Dogu not to cross that ball to when Amorim was there? Is it Amorim that will tell Dogu not to pass ball to Ahmad? It's simple, basic thing you're supposed to do. But today, everybody played very well. Everybody showed out, and they got the win. Very, very wonderful. I'm happy for that. But as we are supporting Carrick today, not tomorrow or next tomorrow. Now, Manu loses a match, and you now start saying, "Hey, let's keep supporting the coach." See, we are on this journey together. Let's build something. If we get to conference league, I will be happy at the end of the season. If we can get to conference league, I'll keep saying if we can get to conference,
On
I'll be very, 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 very happy. Europa, wonderful. I don't think we're going to get to Champions League.
Yeah.
Uh,
on transfers, Casey. I'm sorry. I think I had to restart my router. It was giving me some issues. Yeah. On the transfers, right? Signing 20 million pound players. I will say this. Manchester United have one of the best scouting departments in Europe, right? All
Mhm.
the players that all the big teams are signing, we knew about them before they left. We knew about Alvarez before he went to Manchester City. We knew about Haaland before Haaland went to um, Dortmund. And before we even went to Leipzig in the first place, we knew about Haaland, we knew about Bellingham. We knew about Caicedo before Caicedo even came to Brighton, right? We know about these big boys before they became the so-called big boys. The thing is, trusting the scouting department has been an issue with Manchester United for years now. We've not used our scouting department to the max. So you can actually find good value, like Awesome said, in the South American market. You can find good value for money in the South American market. And South Americans, you bring them to your club, they are hungry. They are hungry. They really run. Look at the way some of our South American players recently have played for us. With the exception of Ugarte, you can look at people like Cavani, you can look at people like Lisandro Martinez, even Rojo. When Rojo came to Manchester United, you can say anything about Rojo, but you can never ever question his ability. You can never ever question his passion for this club. You can never question his hunger to when he wears a Manchester United jersey, right? So if you actually use your scouting department properly, you can find gems. I think the last gem that we went for, in my opinion, was this guy, Dan James. And Dan James was not really a poor signing for Manchester United. He was good for the role that he was supposed to perform at the club.
Okay.
So,
Casey.
awesome.
Then, um,
Just give us your
okay,
last word.
Okay. My last word. Yeah, I want to add to what you said because I think I've actually made a video about it, but because of this stream, I wasn't able to finish with it.
Okay.
Nobody is saying Michael Carrick will win all the matches. You
Yeah.
understand? There are still some moments this season that Manchester United will be down as a team.
Yeah.
It's not those moments, maybe he drew 2 games back to back, or he actually lost a game. Then Manchester United fans will start coming for him. No, understand that it is meant to be like that. Even City that lost today doesn't they never feel they will lose, considering the squad depth and everything.
Yeah.
How can you even say it that a whole Manchester City lost 2-0 to Manchester United that sacked their coach two weeks ago before Manchester Derby, brought in an interim coach. He was in charge of 2 match, 1 loss, 1 draw, and coming into this match, winning 2-0 and actually having a clean sheet. There will be downtime with Michael Carrick, but you guys need to take it easy with him.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I
He
agree.
needed our support at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
He gave us that smile. He gave us a lovely weekend.
Yeah.
When the time comes to support him, if he's having a
Bad
bad
game.
run of games,
Yeah.
let's be
Support
there
it.
to support him,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
And
Please.
it
But
is, it
I know
is,
the kind of fans we have. I know the kind of fans we have. That's why I'm saying
yeah,
this. Not that you're
it
happy
is some,
today. You're happy today.
yeah,
Tomorrow, when you see bad game or something, you
exactly,
have to,
exactly,
yeah. So
yeah.
okay,
It is
keep
some larger fans that were actually clamoring for quick fix,
yeah.
win trophies. But me, I'm all about the sustainability and the
It's sustainability.
continuity.
Yes.
You
Yes.
win you win Premier League this season and you want Carling Cup. Next season, the Manchester United I know, come next season, win Premier League, win Carling Cup, or win Champions League. That is what I need. I don't need a Manchester United side that actually won a trophy this season and is struggling the next season. Look at
Yes.
what is currently happening to Liverpool.
Yes.
We need to understand that. Moving forward, a new coach will be coming in the summer. Whatever the outcome may be, coaches are not magicians. They are humans. There are times they gamble and get it wrong. Pep got it wrong today from the lineup. Second half, he doesn't know what to do. Pep has Aït in his team. He was putting him on the bench. You will actually know something is wrong. He has Tijani Redknapp that and Nico Gonzalez that has been one of his best players, some of his best players. He actually didn't play them because he actually felt he wanted to choke Manchester United in the middle. But at the end of the day, he just
And
scored
I think
a
because he saw Mino and Casemiro, he was like, wow. See give. I think when he
so
saw Casemiro,
moving on as a team, if our board will actually get it right, go back to the drawing board, make a good plan, then the vision, set it high and start working with it. We'll be there in
yeah,
2 or 3 years. We'll be there.
in two
Thank
or
you.
three years, I agree. So, Kimi, any last
Yeah,
words? Just give us your last words.
My final word is this: don't let good results weaken the
exactly.
resolve that you have for Glazers out and Ineos out. In everything we are doing, we should not stop to demand that these people leave. Make them very uncomfortable at this club. Keep the
Exactly.
pressure on.
Yeah,
Keep posting about
Yeah.
it, keep letting people know, in as much as the protests are not going to chase them out of the club because they're not going to sell their share just for nothing, right?
yeah,
They're going to sell
Yes.
it when a proper offer comes. But they have to be uncomfortable enough to even start considering it. I
yes,
think the Nice fans
Exactly.
now are getting their way. Ineos are about to leave. Ineos have started reducing even the money they placed on the club. I think they reduced it from 237 to 175 million pounds now, right? They're about to sell Nice. If you make these guys uncomfortable, keep their name everywhere. Not because we won today 2-0. 2-0, that's fantastic. Glazers out. 2-0, that's fantastic. Ineos out. Because
It's
whatever is
just out.
happening at the club does not matter. It does not matter until these people are out. Because we'll be here again in 2 years. We'll be here again
Yes.
next year, December.
Yes.
In short, the cycle is now getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It took Ten Hag 2 years, right, to run into a crisis. It has taken
Yes.
Amorim just 1.5 years. How long will it take the next man? How long under these
Mhm.
guys? How long will it take the next? So we need to keep holding these guys accountable, keep announcing it, keep the pressure on. I hope that the fans still protest as they've planned already on February 1st. I think that's all I have to say.
all right, all right, all
All
right.
right.
You guys have heard it. Thank you, Kimi, for being here today. Thank you also, man.
Yes.
You,
Sir.
you guys are always supporting. Guys. Follow them. Follow Kimi if you want to hear legit, not banter, analysis, reactions on Manchester United. Follow Awesome. Follow Kimi. You know, show them love.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They always support. So, see you next time. Have a good
Thank you
day.
very much, bro.
All right.
Thank you.